Hey everyone, welcome to the Fantasy Pros YouTube channel. I'm Bobby Sylvester of the Fantasy Pros Football Podcast, and today I've got my top 5 sleeper starts for Week 13 of your fantasy football season. This list consists of players that you wouldn't always feel comfortable starting, but because of their matchups and or game scripts, I think they're really solid plays this week. Let's start up at number 5, where I've got tight end of the Detroit Lions, TJ Hawkinson. Chicago's so good on the perimeter against wideouts that they've allowed tight ends to run wild on him. In fact, the last time Hawkinson played the Bears, he put up one of the biggest games of his season. And as we all know, he's always a threat for a big play once the ball is in his hands. On over to quarterback, where at number 4, I've got Sam Darnold of the New York Jets. This is going to be the third straight week I'm recommending Darnold as a streamer. At first, it just felt dirty, but now it feels like I'm downright cheating. He's been tremendous over the past month, and he's done it despite just 30 throws per game since the Jets have been blowing teams out somehow. With Andy Dalton back and the game in Cincinnati, I expect a high-paced, close-fought shootout of a game, with Darnold perhaps getting closer to 40 pass attempts. In my mind, that makes him a top 10 quarterback play this week. Let's go to running back, where at number 3, I've got Tarik Cohen of the Chicago Bears. On a week with no teams on bye, it's much more difficult to recommend a start like Raheem Mostert or Gus Edwards, like we've been able to do in the past weeks. Cohen's the closest thing, as I'd imagine fantasy coaches aren't considering using him, but he now has 15 carries and 15 targets in his past 2 games. If that type of opportunity share continues in a cake matchup against the Lions this week, he's likely to finish among the top 30 backs, making him a solid flex play. Let's go back to quarterback at number 2, where I've got Nick Foles of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I can't say it's been pretty, but in Foles' 2 starts since returning from injury, the Jags defense has been so bad that Foles has been forced to pass the ball 95 times in those 2 contests. More importantly, there's a significant difference between traveling to Indianapolis or Tennessee to take on their secondaries and taking on the Bucs' ridiculously bad secondary at home this weekend. And at number 1, I've got a wide receiver. It's Russell Gage of the Atlanta Falcons. Julio Jones was yanked from Sunday's game because of an injury, and he hasn't practiced to start the week for the Falcons. With Atlanta playing on Thanksgiving, it seems unlikely that he'll be ready to go for that contest against the Saints, especially considering the Falcons are already out of the playoff hunt. New Orleans hasn't been as easy of a mark as they've been in past years against wide receivers, but it's a good enough matchup and game script to warrant using Gage as a flex play or even wide receiver 3, considering he was given 10 targets last week, with Julio only missing a portion of the game. Alright guys, that's all for my top 5 sleeper starts for Week 13. Make sure to let us know what you think in the comments section, and as always, like and subscribe for future content. Thanks for watching, and enjoy your football.